If you want all the latest news of NBA 2K and also NBA in general, you should follow me on my Twitter account at PackHoopsYT. Not only that, I do giveaways all the time when it comes to VC, games, and also even consoles. So check it out, follow me, and see you there. First roster update of NBA 2K22, and I can't wait to break it down. Get blast out to the pack. It is Pack here. Before this video starts, please be an OG, join the pack, and subscribe, and leave a like on the video. Now, important thing to notice is that I'm not going to mention every single player in this video because that's going to take literally forever, but I'm going to show you the most important changes for every single team and their best players. And on top of that, a reminder that this isn't exactly a roster update. It's more of the ratings have changed from the last game to the new game, but they have changed. So let's talk about it because it's going after playoffs, remember. So first things first is the 76ers. Wait, I didn't say what I always say. We start off with this Philadelphia 76ers as we always do. That's so much better. All right, Ben Simmons, -2 for millions of reasons. First of all, he's probably not even going to be on this team anymore. Second, did terrible in the playoffs. He can't shoot, inconsistent, passive player, and 84 overall sounds about right for me. And Andre Drummond, -4 from an 83 to a 79. There's no doubt that Andre Drummond is good at rebounding and scoring in the post if he's isolated, but that's not the NBA anymore. And so, because that's the case, they drop him 4 overall, making him one of the biggest downgraded players in this roster update. And I mean, can you blame 2K for saying that? I mean, what do you gotta say? Also, Shake Milton, -2 as well, which is weird because he's pretty solid, so I don't agree with that one. Now, for the Milwaukee Bucks, we already talked about this one because they showed the ratings earlier, but Jrue Holiday -1, Chris Middleton +3. This is based off the playoffs. I think Chris Middleton going up 3 is amazing. I think Jrue Holiday going down is disrespectful, especially because they just won a championship. Like, what are you talking about, 2K? But that's what they did. Bobby Portis -2. Again, I don't think anybody should have been downgraded because they won a championship. And Donte DiVincenzo +3. He never should have gone down in the first place. So very good. So the Chicago Bulls. DeMar DeRozan is now a Chicago Bull, and they do -2 for DeMar. I think that's super weird. I mean, I am a Spurs fan, and I wasn't the biggest fan of DeMar, if I'm just keeping it real. But there's no doubt that he can score out of his mind in the mid-range, and he still averages a lot efficiently. So having him lower doesn't exactly make sense, but we'll see how it goes with this team. Kobe White +2, and I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes higher throughout the year. I think he's going to be very good for the Bulls next season. Now for the Cleveland Cavaliers, this one's a really controversial one, one of the most surprising ones. So Jared Allen -2 and Colin Sexton -1, making the best player on the Cavs up in the air according to 2K. The three players, who is going to be the best player? If I had to put money on it, I'm putting it on Colin Sexton. I don't know why they downgraded him in the first place. I think talent-wise, he's probably the best player here and is going to average the most next season. We'll have to wait and see. But that's what it's looking like to me. Also, Kevin Love -1. It should be -20. Poor dude is just not what he used to be at all. Not even close. For the Celtics, Jaylen Brown -1. I guarantee you it's going to change throughout the season if he's healthy, because he's just so good. It's insane. Robert Williams, though, is the big surprise. -2. From 81 to a 79. I think that one's kind of weird, but we'll see how it goes through the season. So they have 3 centers. That is a 79 overall. And if we're being realistic, probably Robert Williams is going to be the starter, but we'll see with Al Horford and how good he is. We'll see. For the Clippers, Kawhi -1 and Reggie Jackson +1. I mean, Kawhi did get injured during the playoffs, and even though he was injured, they still played fantastic because Reggie Jackson went off in the playoffs. A +1 should be even more than that. He should have like a +3 or 4. He was really, really good. And Marcus Morris -1. For the Grizzlies, Kyle Anderson -2. I thought this one was pretty interesting, but it says nothing compared to Brandon Clark -4. Why? Wasn't he playing a lot better throughout the year? Why would you go down 4? With Andre Drummond, I understood why. Brandon Clark's -4 is kind of aggressive, 2K. I don't agree with this one at all. So for the Hawks, Trae Young +2. I'd even argue it should be a 90 overall. He is, in my opinion, after that playoff performance last year, he is a superstar, and superstars are 90 overalls, my opinion. But he probably will get there. John Collins -1. He's been inconsistent, but I think he'll get higher this year. And then Danilo Gallinari -2. Again, another inconsistent player last season, but he was starting to play better throughout the year. The Heat, Jimmy Butler -1, Bam -1. So this team had a very inconsistent year last year, a very underwhelming year last year. And I mean, they were the finals not champions, but they made it to the finals last year, and the year after that they don't make it to the playoffs. It's just like it makes no sense, you know. And then Duncan Robinson +1 for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. So LaMelo Ball -1. I don't know why, if he was playing well. I did think his rating was a little too high in the first place, but still I think it's weird that they downgraded him randomly. Miles Bridges -1 as well, which is another one I think is kind of weird, but we'll have to wait and see if that's true or not. Joe Ingles -2 on this team, from an 82 to an 80 overall, but in his Olympic play I feel like he played pretty well, so that's weird. For the Kings, the only change I found was Harrison Barnes -2. I mean, this guy will either be the second best player on the team or the 7th best player on the team, and it changes every roster update, so I couldn't tell you. For the Knicks, Julius Randle -2 and Derrick Rose +1. So Julius Randle -2 because of his playoff performance. He did get double teamed a lot, and it was kind of hard to score when nobody else could score, but I understand why they downgraded him. And then Derrick Rose +1 because he's amazing. Let's just be real. LeBron -1, and after last season, I think you could understand why. But we'll have to wait and see. I feel like he's going to surprise us this year and have a really good year. I just have a feeling. Russell Westbrook -2. I know a lot of Westbrook fans are going to be controversial about that one, but I know he puts up the numbers, but the man doesn't win at the end of the day. So unless he starts winning this year, it's going to stay that rating. So the Magic, Wendell Carter Jr. -2. And then also Mo Bamba -1. This team is on paper very, very bad, and Jonathan Isaac and Wendell Carter are going to be fighting for the best player on the team this year, probably. Or Jalen Suggs. We'll have to wait and see. For the Mavericks, Porzingis -2. We don't even need to talk about why that's the case. Tim Hardaway Jr. -1, which I disagree with because I felt like he played very well in the playoffs. And Moses Brown is the 5th best player on this team, which is interesting to me. It makes you kind of see that maybe they didn't really do a good job in this offseason, but maybe he's going to be really good. He should be really good. The Nets' only change is James Harden -1, which is ridiculous because he's the only player I think that shouldn't be getting a downgrade, but whatever. For the Nuggets, Jokic -1. He was the MVP. But Jamal Murray was injured in the playoffs, so he wasn't able to perform as well as he wanted to. Michael Porter Jr. -1 and Aaron Gordon -1, all because of playoff performance. So this whole team got downgrades. Sabonis -1, Karis LeVert -2, TJ Warren -1, Malcolm Brogdon -1, Miles Turner -1. I mean, they're a very injured team last year. I mean, one of these 5 players was injured at least 3 times last year out of the year. Like, it was just, they couldn't stay healthy. For the Pelicans, Zion -1, so he officially leaves the 90 overall club. Crazy that him and Trae Young have the same rating, but that's just my opinion. Besides that though, no major change for the Pelicans. The Pistons, so Jeremy Grant -1, Cade Cunningham in the conversation for best player on this team, Sadiq Bey -1, and Isaiah Stewart -1. But this team has a lot of young talent, and they could be pretty good next year. Well, this year. If let's say Jeremy Grant, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq, and Isaiah Stewart all have a good year this year, who knows, right? So for the Raptors, Fred VanVleet -1, making Pascal the best player on this team. This is also the first time this team has been without Kyle Lowry. Very interesting team. How they're going to play this year will be very fascinating. OG -1, and then Goran Dragic is now on the team. I'm interested to see how the Raptors play because on paper they shouldn't be that bad. They shouldn't be. So Christian Wood -1 and John Wall +1, making them tied as the best player. But I think it's pretty obvious that Wood will be the best player on this team. And then Jalen Green on the team now as well, and Jayshawn Tate -1. So for the Spurs, let me talk about them for a little bit. Oh, the pain in my heart, man. So Derek White -2. And so now they have DeJounte Murray as the best player. And then on paper, rating-wise, we're the 2nd worst team in the league behind the Pistons. And that is just breaking my heart, bro. We'll see. Hopefully, Keldon got a lot better next year. And I hope that we're not as bad as we look. So the Suns, Chris Paul +1 and Devin Booker +1 and DeAndre Ayton all got +1. I mean, these dudes played amazing in the finals. Every single one of them. I'd argue that Devin Booker is better than Chris Paul, especially after the finals performance, my opinion. But everyone got +1s for this team. So for OKC, Lou Dort -1, and that's the only change. This team is still young and rebuilding, so it's not really a big deal. So nothing really to talk about here. Cat gets -1 for this team, and Anthony Edwards -1. But on paper, this team should be very, very, very solid. I mean, you have Cat, Russell, Anthony Edwards getting better, hopefully. Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley's a good defender. Naj Reid's going to get better this year. Jaden McDaniels, Jared Van. I mean, you have talent here. They should be pretty good. The Blazers' only change is CJ McCollum -1 and Norman Powell -1. They need to play better for sure if they want to win a championship because Dame is carrying them so hard. And then the Warriors, Klay Thompson -2, which is unfair to him because of injury. And besides that, no big change for the Warriors. And then for the Wizards, Bradley Beal -1, leaving the 90 overall club, and Rui Hachimura -1, making him the 4th best player on this team. And that is all the changes for the roster. What do you think? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like the channel, please give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.